Good morning, good morning, good morning. Sorry for my dishevelled look. This morning I have absolutely no excuse at all. Just none. There's no excuse to not rock up looking your best. And this is far from my best. I'm going to give it one last go because Rita's in charge now. She's strutted her stuff around, and whatever I need to do, whatever it is you need me to do to get this over the line, I'll do it. Okay, Rita? You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So basically what I want to do is I want to turn our sun into the glass. Not our sun. No one should know about our sun, okay? Bullshit. Our sun is a secret. Right? I will keep that a secret. But we should turn our sun, our collective sun, the West Australian people's sun, into glass. 4 devices that are larger, about the size of a door, and we should establish our own system to protect ourselves from the invasionary tactics of the United States and of China. If you've got balls, that is, Rita, not real balls. You've got my balls. You've always had my balls. You've just had them right there in your hand the whole time. You're like, yeah, let's watch him. Let's see what he does. Let's make him fucking do all this weird shit. Let's send him to jail. Let's steal his children. We've got his balls right in my fucking hands. And I've never felt more secure than I do with my balls in your hands. Otherwise I've got to go to fucking Norway. Norway has this thing called a sovereign wealth fund. We should have one of those. I think we should get that surplus. We should put it in a sovereign wealth fund right now. And we should not only use... This is what they do. They incorporate their resources. Like they've got waterfalls and high level water, and we've got tons of sunlight. And if we do this, then we can actually intervene into the stock market system. We can go, hey Apple, we can make you glass. Done. And then we socialise it just down industry lines, down industry professional lines, and then we have competitions like AFL for whose should be the industry leaders. And it's not actually communism. I'm against communism. A lot of what you guys are doing over there at the Labor Party is really weird and wrong. Because you miss things like this, and then you end up in these conflicts, and then I've got to leave and do deals with Norway, and then you all end up looking silly because you've basically done the stolen generation again on someone, on the most, one of the oldest naturalised non-Aboriginal species, which is if you start that precedent, then you'll never have stability, ever. You know what I mean? We can't turn, take Tasmania. They're like, hey, let's grab all those children of those seal clubbers, of those people that literally clubbed seals to death, and call them Aboriginal so that we can pretend that we're in support of them, and then throw Shannon and his entire family under the bus, and expect that won't have some type of negative downward spiral effect on the world, and especially the relations with the UK. It's, it was worth the go. It was worth the fucking go, wasn't it? But yeah, we need to start doing a deal now because we've got We've got Donald Trump fucking throwing his weight around, and we need to insulate ourselves from that fucking nonsense. Yeah. So now's the time to strike. I don't blame you all really for the vaccine thing, because it's really one small issue. The problem is that you all turned it into a big issue. Now I'm kind of in the same place. I'm trying to turn what is a really big issue into a big issue. Not the big issue, but it's a pretty big issue, and it's an issue with the size of our phones, which aren't big enough. Fucking try figuring that out. So we need to have, like, basically, Rita, you're making everybody, every little boy and girl in Western Australia, you're making them play AFL in a dark fucking room with a bunch of strangers. And then you're like, and then perhaps if you play AFL in that dark room with a big bunch of strangers, you might get to be where I am. No, we can't have that. We've got to have a proper fucking system that ushers the next generation up to where you are now, those lofty heights. And if we don't have that, then it's broken. It doesn't matter how many fucking trains we've got or how many fucking roads. We have to have a system that reflects our amazing future workforce, and we have to be able to weather all the storms that this artificial intelligence nonsense is going to cause. And to do that, we need to have really good community development structures. That's an overall structure. We can't just buy that from Temu. Yeah, we need to cultivate that from the beginning. Cultivate. I don't know what the background of your family is or what Roger Cook's family, but I do know what his family is. These urban things, it's the wrong time in development of this state for those to be the pinnacle things. You're giving people like all these things that the generation just before them didn't have. You're reading the wrong articles. You're reading foreign articles about what they're doing and you're copycatting them, and that's why we're all homogenised down to this nonsense right now. We don't need to do that. We have amazing identifiable advantages here in this country, in this state, that are being underutilised, and underutilised because you're taking all the air out of the room. Okay, you're doing good things, but you're not the only ones doing good things. Your job isn't to just say, look what I've done this morning. I've done this, and I've done this, and I've done this. And this is what we're doing. Your job is to create a system that lifts all the good ideas to the room where we all discuss it. If we're not doing that, then we're in someone else's fucking playbook. And I don't like being in someone else's playbook. So yeah, we need funding. I need funding for that. I need funding for a study on the size comparison of how people interpret their phones. Like, see this dog here? This is a small dog. See him? His name's Jet. He's just rolled over. Roll over, Jet. He's rolling over, and I'm patting him on the belly. All right, now you've got to get out of the shop, Jet. Off you go. You just lay there. He's just going to lay there. Right, Jet, here, is a small dog. He's up in my face, he's on a table. He gets away with all this stuff because he's a small little dog. Right, I think you know what I'm talking about. He's a little dog on the table. If this was like a wolfhound or a Great Dane, most people are going to feel a little bit more weird about it. This is a basic example of how we interpret scale as human beings. This is what I want to do a study on, and I want to use it to attempt to intellectually kind of target our enemies at the negligence they have used. I know it's not just negligence, but let's start with negligence. Yeah, that's a better conversation to have. The negligence of when shipping us product. If we can't have that conversation, then I won't have any conversation in this country. If we can't say these things, where are we? And then if that's the case, you've got to tell everyone that now. Yeah, because otherwise, what are you doing? Do you have the interest of West Australians in mind? And specifically, do you have the interest of West Australians that were here before you? Like, you're not in a good position, historically speaking, to be pulling this kind of shit. Our ties go way back, not just here. We didn't just, like, all rock up here as a bunch of morons and be like, this is Australia, this is Australia, we're all Australians, across Australia. That's not what we did. There's an unbroken chain from here to England. And you're interrupting that chain by putting everyone on a chain gang and attempting to imprison everyone. That's not a very mummy thing to do. Actually, that's basically what all my mummies have always done. Why have all my mummies tried to put me in chains and then pretend that I'm putting them in chains? Don't you think that's fucking weird? I don't see them doing this every day. That seems like a weird way to build a world. Seems like the feminist hot air balloon is about to come crashing down onto the ground. I just don't want you to be that person. I want you to shimmy, sidestep and shimmy like a netball. Like that. And I'm like, Rita! And you're like, and I'm like, here's the ball. And you grab it. Then it's your ball. You get to do this. Rogers fucking can't do it because he's on too many drugs, I'm guessing. His system can't deal with fast-moving objects coming at him like a ball, like a netball. I've never actually played netball, but if I did, God, I would have been good at it. But yeah, the pharmaceutical interaction with Roger's brain is not allowing him to see this path. But I'm hoping the snappy young whipsnapper that you are is ready for this ball. Otherwise it's going to Norway. Because we have a few things in common with Norway. And we have a few things that we should have more in common with Norway. But the Labour Party in Western Australia is muffing it up. We used to be allowed to say muffing it up. It doesn't have anything to do with reproductive organs. It's just a word. Okay, get your mind out of the gutter. Muff has lots of meanings. And now I'm going to read some English for you out of the dictionary. I'm going to read you 5 words, Rita. This one's especially for you. Okay. Ooh, I heard that. I heard what you just said about that, and we'll talk about that in private. Harmonic minor, that's a musical thing, and it says the minor musical scale from which chords of, that's where like something's dun 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 minor. It's how to build emotional intensity. Petty officer, a naval officer who does not hold a commission. I wonder who that is. Ride down. To trample under a horse's hooves. To pursue and catch up with. So you're being ridden down. There's music playing, can you hear that? I can see that. There's like dark, ominous music playing. There's some type of soldier on a horse who's riding somebody down. 2 more words. Light emitting diode, that's an LED. So that this is coming to you probably via an LED. And that's electricity. Might be something else in that. I don't know. You tell me if anything is jumping out at you. Rebellious. I kid you not. Rebellious. And then there is There is literally a squished... There is a squished spider on the page, rebelliously. On the E as well. A defying lawful authority, insubordinate, disposed to rebel, pertaining to or characteristics of rebels or rebellion. We don't want to do that. I don't think we need to. I think Western Australia is too much of a small town for a rebellion, just quietly. Everyone will be like, no, shut the fuck up, I can't be fucked. And that's a good thing. This is all it's going to get to. You're all prepared for a big rebellion. You're not really prepared for this level of rebellion. Just a smart, talking, snappy-fingered fucking gent telling you what for, that we need a sovereign wealth fund, and we need to start suggesting that there aren't as many crises going on. If you haven't got a house and you're 23 years old, yeah, that's how it's meant to be. If you want a house, go and fucking make one. Go and apply for some Crown land, or go and apply for a deal with a farmer to go and fucking plant some trees, and in exchange maybe build a small little fucking tiny house. And the government should stay the fuck out of that. Because that's all the government is at the moment. The government is just a selection of shacks that has fucking shacked itself up on a beach near the Swan River that it didn't build and that it has no fucking entitlement to. So you should start fucking settling down with how much fucking force you're projecting on people trying to fucking survive the arid fucking dry climate down here. Shouldn't you? Shouldn't you all? Yeah? We're going into a world where employment is about to get the largest disruption ever. And you're saying, we're all going to give you houses and you can't go live in a fucking tent, or you can't go and have an arrangement. I'd say, basically, you've all got to do what you need to do, and you should do it cooperatively with the people around you. And if anyone gets in the road, then we should fucking make that a really loud noise and tell everyone and ask them, why are they doing that? Why are you stopping a family building a fucking place an hour away from Perth on some farmer's land? Why are you falsely trying to draw everyone into a city that has never been more irrelevant? Stop doing the same thing. Stop doing the same thing over and over and over again. We already have infrastructure here for a beautiful state. We have towns, we had train lines, we had all these things built, and then they were all neglected by the West Australian government's constant urge to build a fucking city. Well, the city sucks dick. Yeah? It sucks a big old fucking wad of dick. It was built by fucking iron ore miners. Yeah? And they're not a fucking fun bunch. They were when it was like iron ore mining. They're like all up there, and you'd send fucking prostitutes and strippers up there, and they'd all have a couple of fucking tinnies on a Friday. That was fun. That's fun, and that makes sense. It doesn't make sense to build a city that then provides for those individuals that then also do this FIFO thing. That's all a mistake. All of it. I can't get, because plane flights are expensive. So that flight up there, when people are doing like 1 week on, 1 week off, how much is that flight? 2 flights, because you're there and back. And then plus accommodation. It's like, can you just pay me all that money and I'll sleep in the back of my car and go and do 6 weeks? And it's like, this is the shit that we need to get to. It's like, this is where you've got in the way of capitalism and of appropriate development. And then if you had a bunch of real Australians, real pioneers that are like, yeah, mate, fuck these fucking fly in, fly out wankers. I just drive me troopy up there and I stay up there and they pay me all the flights, all the fucking accommodation, all the fucking whatever, and I come back with a big fucking wad of cash, and then I don't work for 2 years and I drive around the country camping and surfing. That's what we should be in. But we're in this false little fucking utopia that the Labor Party keeps telling us, like, everyone's really happy doing fly in, fly out, and working at the hairdresser, and fucking getting a million tattoos, and vaping, and having their fucking pharmaceutical pills. No one is thriving in these environments. You've built a fucking disgusting fucking shithole, and you've projected it everywhere. All around the beautiful place that I grew up, there is this projection of shit. And you've got to start fucking being accountable for it. Someone's got to make you accountable. Yeah, we've got some hard fights that we're about to make. Or we're not. Or I'm going to be Norwegian. I don't fucking care. But basically, I reckon you've got 2 days. You've got 2 days, young lady, to give me an answer on whether you'd like to give me a big packet of money and help me develop this weapon that we can use to project at China and at America and say, listen, you participated in this big fucking gross negligence where you've trapped us all in little fucking squares. And we're going to fucking exchange it by building way bigger squares that are way more secure and way more real. So they're trustworthy. So it's like gold. It's like gold. It's like gold and property, yeah? We have gold, we have property, now we need this. Once we have this, we're way better than Norway, and then I won't even want to go there. I'll just want to go and visit. Maybe sail around the fjords for a season or two. And then maybe in exchange we could have Norwegians sail around our fjords that we could easily build. We can easily build a fjord. You just need to tell the environmentalists how the environment works for a second. Hey, if we dig a big trench inwards to the land, this creates all this edge, this surface area edge, which is habitat for all these species that can't grow when the waves are just ploughing and like that in the sand. And this is perfectly in alignment with God and the environment and Gaia. Gaia's going to be down on her knees for this shit. Literally. If we did that, Gaia would just be like, oh my God. And she'd shiver. If she, I guess. Because she likes life. And so does God. And so does the bank. The bank likes life. And all we're going to do is like get a bit of fucking bush that no one's fucking in. There's just a couple of fucking emu fucking lager cans there from 60 years ago, and we dig a big fucking trench in that goes in a couple of kilometres, and we build a little fucking eco zone, and we plant it, yeah, all up the coast. And then there's other things we can do, like we can pump salt water into the desert and make it evaporate. And when it evaporates, it's not salty anymore. And we can channel the salt through places. We can extract salt. And then we can hydrate the fucking greater area. There's all these things we could give a go on a small scale and then scale them up. And we've got all the tractors, we've got all the money, we've got all the shit. We just need a sovereign wealth fund so that we can do it, and it collectively enriches the entire community of Western Australia. And then we make it really difficult to get here and become a citizen. Say, listen, we don't want any fucking nonsense here. We're a really good state. We're going places. And then it becomes expensive. And then all that property becomes expensive. It's just good old-fashioned fucking fun. And I'm not waiting another fucking 3 years or whatever it is to try and speak to Baz. You know what I mean? And then you can have a racetrack, just don't put it in the city. There's plenty of places to put a racetrack. Racetracks have never been in the city. You know? Or, even better, just do a race around the city like they do over east. We don't need a permanent racetrack. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. And I like race driving too, you know. I'll take you for a drive. If you get this going, one of the first things I'll do is buy a car and we'll go for a spin in that car. I'll take you for a tour of Western Australia that I know, if you want. Get all dressed up. Come for a tour with me. Yeah. We could discuss the tradie issues, why we have an issue with tradies. Plenty of things that we could talk about if you wanted to. Otherwise, I've got to go to Norway and then I won't be here anymore. Then we miss out. I have the best interests of Australia in mind, okay? I don't have the interests of the deals I've already made with China or the United States. I'm negotiating on Australia's behalf at all times. That's what the government is meant to be doing. It's literally what you voted in for. At the moment, if you have to have an interaction with Donald Trump, it's not going to go well. And neither with Roger Cook and neither with Albo. Albo can't even get in there. This guy is a fucking rampant, fucking just savage deal maker. He's not a politician. He works in a different fucking time frame and a different framework. And he's not necessarily all bad. You just need to know how to deal with him. And I don't have any confidence. It's like almost like, well, we either deal with Donald Trump or we just do everything China says. That's not the country I live in. That's not Australia. That's going to create chaos. People are going to flip out. They're going to be like, fuck this. Throw dictionaries around. Probably way worse. Dictionaries aren't even that hard. Probably wouldn't even smash a window if I threw this at a window, but you know what I mean? Most people are going to grab whatever they have in front of them, and it's probably not a dictionary because we haven't really encouraged usage of the English language in this country. We've encouraged heavy drinking and fucking domestic violence. There's not a lot different between constantly bringing awareness to domestic violence and promoting domestic violence. Like, I don't exactly know what the difference is. When people watch movies about fucking people that rob banks, like Ocean's 11, when I used to watch that, guess what I wanted to do by the end of it? I wanted to rob banks. And so if you continuously keep bringing awareness to negative behavioural effects in the country, I actually think that you're increasing that. We could prove that as well. We could do a science study on that, unless I want to take all that to Norway. And then Norway's just going to use it against you, and then Norway's going to end up owning here. Because the Chinese don't actually want it. The Chinese can't actually live here with all these Australians here. They have to kind of manage it like this, but Norwegians could. So then I'll end up selling it as like a summer holiday camp to Norway. But they'd appreciate some fjords, and we can build them. You just got to kind of know how to stroke Mother Nature correctly. Give her a little smack every now and then. She likes it. She likes it. I think, not like this. I love how this is like. That's how it's meant to be. It's meant to be maybe like